Now I would like to inform our dynamics engineer Kenneth from D3.
Can we all agree that we are all a part of a village, a global village? Good afternoon everyone, this is Kenneth from D3, here to speak on the topic globalization. The world is now becoming an increasingly global world. The world is now a global village, says our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Globalization in its traditional sense refers to the increasing interconnectedness between the economies through cross-country flow of goods and services. But then there's something more to it. Globalization is not just interconnectedness of economies. It is the interconnectedness of lives. It is interconnectedness of people's careers, their goals, interconnectedness of political systems across the world. You know, globalization has changed the lives of many. We've heard many success stories. There are also many positives attached to it. To quote a few examples, there's this recent example of Pragyananda, a boy who hailed from the districts of Tamil Nadu, has earned laurels from the global academicians only because of the opportunities provided by the globalization. The local talents are becoming fortunes on the global level. To quote another example, the elephant whisperers, the story of a couple and their relationship with their elephant has earned global laurels because people somewhere situated somewhere in the rural districts of Tamil Nadu have now reached the almost all the corners of the world. And the most famous example of RRR, the Natu Natu song, which received an Oscar. The Indian cinema and Indian movie makers are also receiving their share on the global platform. There's even more to it. Globalization has made the local practices available on the global scale. To quote a few examples, there's this example of yoga. A yoga, once a traditional practices of Indian culture, is now one of the most practiced tradition across the world, including Ayurveda. The people across the world are now focusing on Ayurveda. Globalization also promotes medical tourism. People can now get their ailments cured across the world. Diseases once which were uncurable are now finding cure in some part of the world thanks to globalization. Globalization has also quenched the thirst of many adventure enthusiasts. People can now travel across the country, travel across the world in fact, and fulfill their dreams. Globalization has made many local games popular on the global level. To quote, Kabaddi and Kho-Kho, which were once our local games, are now on the global level, thanks to globalization. But globalization then is not all roses, as we think. There are also certain negatives associated with globalization. For example, how many of you remember the last time you having a deep, a lonely or an honest conversation with your grandparents? Not often, right? This brings us to one of the most negative consequence of globalization, the negative consequence of spread of global technology. Social media as a consequence of globalization. People sitting in some part of the country, in some part of the world, with their algorithms are controlling the choices we make, are controlling the content we see, and are controlling the lifestyle we live. The world is increasingly moving towards homogeneous lifestyle in terms of culinary things, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of food, in terms of dressing and all. People are forgetting the cultural roots, the traditional practices and all. Globalization, as you all know, we are all part of, it's not new to every one of you all, we are all part of the global system. Globalization has in fact made our lives easier, right? Right from the smartphones you use to the shoes you wear, everything produced anywhere in the world is now available at your fingertips. That has made our lives easier, right? But it's like a two-edged word. People sitting in some part of the world are influencing your lives. For example, the recent Hindenburg report on Adani, people say he sitting somewhere in US has made a report and that has impacted the lives of millions of investors in India. So now concluding, the question is not whether globalization is a positive thing or a negative thing. Globalization is inevitable. But then the question is, how do we mitigate the negative effects of globalization while actually harnessing the positive effects of it? Let us now focus our ideas on how to address the positives of it instead of the endless debate on whether globalization is positive or not. Because the it's too far. Globalization is now inevitable. Thank you.